Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whichever time in your day you happen to be having a chance to listen to this. This is Larry Reynolds from Grace Healing Community, and I want to share a thought. And many people have heard through different religious instruction that the reason my children perish is for the lack of knowledge. And recently, I've come upon a number of different conversations in different religious groups that are talking about those that are wealthy, and how they will never enter upon the kingdom of heaven, or how they will never find themselves greater than where they are within their earthly plane. And this all comes and stems from an instruction that was misunderstood. I heard it through Christian upbringing, and I've heard other friends relate the same comment. And it says that for a rich man to enter upon the kingdom of heaven, it is more difficult to thread the eye of the needle with a camel than it is for him to attain this result. And that's not what it meant. There's people that look at that and think, oh my God, that's insane. There's no way you could thread a camel through the eye of a needle. It was the eye of the needle. And the eye of the needle is actually a door in the walls of Jerusalem back in that day. And it was a small door beside the massive gates for the city. And that small door was shaped like the eye of a needle. And what it required was for anybody that came there that was not allowed in through the gate, but they could walk through the eye of the needle, was they'd have to shed their gear and drag their gear in from behind them and walk through this hunched over and down. So this is not a comparative to an actual needle that you sew and stitch with, because there is no way to draw a camel through that. However, there is a way to get a camel through the eye of the needle, meaning the door. If a camel is well disciplined, in trust with its master, that which cares for it, the master can proceed through the door, the eye of the needle. And if the camel can focus on it, the camel can get down onto its haunches and it can work its way through. But again, it needs to have the utmost trust in its master to be able to do this, because it's totally against everything a camel would want to do. But if it's well trained and looking to its master at all times, it will attain the entrance into the kingdom, in that case, Jerusalem. It will be able to go through. So it doesn't say that a rich man coming upon the kingdom of heaven is impossible, because there's no way you can thread the eye of a needle with a camel. Yes, you can, if you understand where this originates from. And then in that, there are many that I've known that are extremely wealthy, come with great wealth in many aspects of their lives, financially and physical assets. And they've kind of like just resigned themselves to this thought process that they are living their highest kingdom now, because they think that they cannot enter upon the kingdom of heaven. And this is so not true. The reality is, if a person submits themselves before the master that is God within, and aligns the nature of their attributes to that which are God's attributes, compassion, unity, love, peace, all these things, they would find themselves attaining the kingdom, because they keep themselves centrally focused upon the master, our creator, our sustainer, our redeemer. And as they go through this, they would easily, they themselves being the camel, they could easily pass through the eye of the needle and attain the kingdom. And the other misperception that comes about here is that wealth somehow shows a person's alignment with God. And quite frankly, it does not. There are many people that are of great wealth that have zero integrity. There are many people of great wealth that have zero sense of compassion. It is not the wealth that shows their alignment. It is wealth that shows the grace they are receiving. And if many of the wealth could embrace this, and they could recognize that my wealth is not something I've attained, it is something that I have been blessed to participate with, they would begin to recognize with greater gratitude that which is created through them. And they would begin to recognize that to align themselves with God, they must embrace the holy attributes, not greed, gain, and all these aspects that begin to consume the wealthy as they continue to feed on the process of gaining greater and greater wealth, but the reality of trusting and knowing that they could align themselves with the nature of God and utilize the resources in such a way to bring increase of divine glory throughout all of this visible heaven, all of this earth. Find new ways to magnify the wealth for the sake of increase upon others, not just a name to leave here once you jump into the coffin and head off into your birth into new life. So again, when people are going out to these massive cathedrals and all these different places and watch people that drive around in Rolls Royces thinking that, oh my God, God has great favor upon them. No, God has graced them to walk that ground. And it does not show their specific alignment with God. So take care not to invest in that person of great wealth because they have wealth. Measure the nature of their true nature. Are they first nature God? Or are they building this wealth to say, look what God does with me, instead of look what God does for those? So just thoughts that have been going around in my head. I hope this blesses you in your day, and look forward to seeing you either on gracehealing.org, gracehealing.video, or on our Facebook page at Grace Healing Community. Have an amazing day, and may you find the wealth that is graced for you in your life, whether it is the physical wealth, the relational wealth, the tangible wealth, or the opportunity to serve and move people into a greater state of awareness. Just be blessed in your life, and remember that my children perish for the lack of knowledge. So we must look at these different instructions that we've been given and honestly look through them to find God's presence, because God would never separate God from self. And even those that are described as the wealthy that people form envy over, if we can release envy, we would begin to see how we can pray increase upon the wealthy. May they be increased through holy compassion. May they be increased through peace. May they be increased in charity. May they be, so we would pray increase upon those that are in that wealth. So again, very simple. The grace you receive does not show your alignment to God. It shows your favor before God. And in that favor, we have to be humble and recognize that if I hold a certain wealth, I measure my actions before the presence of God to see how God wishes to use it first. Then I step into the position of how I may be able to utilize it. So again, have an amazing day. We at Grace Healing look forward to serving you. Check out the gracehealing.org website, and you will find all the contact info. Have an amazing day.